Joining me now is Kevin Sneed, Director with the Office of Design and Construction Services in the Department of Facilities and Transportation Services. Welcome.
Thank you.
Kevin, I've just had this great conversation with you before we started taping about educational specifications and your job in helping us get ready for the school and the classrooms of the future. So before we launch into our discussion, can you share with the audience what an educational specification is?
Well, educational specifications are it reflects the program of study, so it's the requirements as set forth by the Department of Instructional Services and Special Services, and how we design and build our buildings to support those programs.
So for example, give us an example of an ed spec.
So, I think a room that everybody would recognize if we were to enter a science room or a science lab, we would know how many sinks were necessary or how many computer outlets, the type of lighting, marker boards or other things to support the program.
And in your job, you are getting us ready to meet the future in terms of our classrooms and schools through changing these educational specifications?
That's correct. I think that our current educational specifications were really brought about in 1992. So we're a little bit behind the times, and everybody knows that children today are quite a bit different than even children in 1992. So the advent of technology is going to not only change our facilities, but how the programs are delivered. And we need to create spaces and schools that reflect those changes.
And tell me how you've been gathering feedback to drive these changes in the ed specs.
Well, we've used a variety of sources. Initially, we just impaneled committees at each grade level or each school level of principals and curriculum specialists.
So elementary, middle, and high.
Elementary, middle, and high. Just to discuss and to describe the programs and what was required in the school or the space to support the programs. But we decided that we had to reach out much further than these committees, so we spoke to the Student Advisory Council, the County Council of PTAs. We're going to have teachers from all three levels in soon into Gatehouse for a discussion, and eventually principals. From their ideas, we're going to incorporate ideas from each of these groups, hopefully quite a few of them, into our future buildings.
And what did you hear from students?
Yeah, that was the most fascinating thing. The students, I was shocked when they said they did not want to see lockers in the future. I mean, the only spaces they thought where they would need lockers were down near gymnasium or, say, the band area. And the reason was, as I said, these students are different, is they recognize they may not be carrying books in the future. Maybe tablets or some other device that we're not aware of currently. So we were a little bit surprised. I mean, from my perspective, it makes me happy because it'll save me money, when I'm building a school.
Right.
So, yeah. So it's really interesting to hear from the students.
So what would you say our classroom or our school of the future looks like?
Well, I think that there'll be a few changes in the schools of future. Some we're already beginning to implement. And I'm not sure if there's any school or too many buildings in the country right now. We have an addition being constructed at Spring Hill Elementary that's utilizing LED light fixtures. And these light fixtures are networked together, and they're controlled through the network, so you can regulate the amount of energy that's consumed, and they're going to save us quite a bit of money, plus the type of light that they'll be able to generate in the classroom is different. Beyond that, I see a lot more wireless connectivity in the classroom. So we think some built-in equipment will be gone, and I think that for the most part you're going to see a lot more flexibility in schools. So a space, one period could be used for, say, English, the next maybe foreign language, even if the students were going to, need some other some devices to help them with the program. So that's really what we're looking to do, is to make our spaces more efficient, lower cost for the taxpayer, and probably at the end of the day, better for the students.
Excellent. Well, we will keep our eye on as we progress forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.